Hey everyone, I'm Kendall.
And I'm Lex.
And this is All Your Heart, Soul, and Strength. Here at this YouTube channel, our main goal is to speak God's truth and show how it applies to every area of your life.
If you're new here, welcome. Or if you're a returning watcher, thank you so much for your support. Please like and subscribe. And if you were moved by this message and you feel like it could benefit others, go ahead and share it.
We hope you enjoy today's episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of All Your Heart, Soul, and Strength. Today we want to talk about a topic that a lot of people either have never heard of or they might even have it and they really don't know what to do with it because they don't know a lot of details about it. So today I'm going to kind of let Kendall take the lead, but we are going to be talking and diving into an HSA account, your health savings account. It's actually not an HSA account, it's just an HSA.
Because the A is for account.
That'd be like saying health savings account.
Correct.
So it's just,
there you go.
It's just an A.
Yeah, it's just an A. So yeah, we're going to be diving into HSA because I know it can kind of be overwhelming a lot when it comes time of the year where you're about to pick your insurance plan, and it's a lot. Even though they'll break it down to kind of show you what each of them offers, it can still be kind of overwhelming. So we wanted to just dive into HSA because it's a little different than the one that people are kind of used to with the basic insurance or the other types of insurance. So first, to start everything off, we're going to go over just basically what is an HSA. What's an HSA, baby?
I'm glad you asked. I have it right here. It's a health savings account. Okay. So currently you can only contribute to an HSA if you have an HSA eligible plan.
Which is a high deductible plan is what carries them.
That's what's in the parentheses right here. Also called a high deductible plan, HDHP.
Yeah, so those offer HSAs.
Gotcha.
And we'll talk later. That's actually been changed a little with the new bill that just got signed. But originally, they only been offered through your high deductible plan. So
anyway, a health savings account lets you set aside money on a pre-tax basis to plan for co-insurance, co-payments, deductibles, and qualified medical expenses.
So yeah, and a quick thing on that, a lot of insurances require you to do premiums off of your checks that you receive. One of the best parts about a HSA too is a lot of them will offer where you don't have any premiums. The money goes straight to you into your HSA account. So you're paying to yourself for money you could use later, as opposed to like a premium, you're sometimes paying it and you're not even using it. It's just always has to be paid. It's part of the insurance plan. Yeah.
One thing that I didn't know when we originally signed up for an HSA, and I don't know if you did either, it wasn't until my dad had explained it because he's in HR, he's in payroll, is that like it's, for lack of better words, it is your money.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, where I'm at, I have the HSA account. If I were to leave, my employer does not get that money. Right.
Right. And that kind of rolls into us explaining what an FSA is, which is a flexible spending account, which these two people get these confused a lot. I've actually helped a few people in work and other places that they thought an HSA was an FSA. So both of them are tax advantage accounts, which is good. They allow you to save for healthcare expenses, but they have key differences. So the biggest difference is an HSA is tied to a high deductible plan, like we said, and it allows for tax-free growth. And you can roll this money over each year and build it in that account. FSAs are a use it or lose it kind of thing, which really...
like sick time.
Yeah, like really sucks. So if you contribute to it and you didn't use it all, currently it doesn't roll over the next year. You just start next year fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still tax advantaged an FSA, so it's still a good thing to have if you don't have the option for HSA, but an HSA is much better because that money continues to grow years and years. So that's the biggest difference is the use it or lose it function of an FSA.
All right, so we're going to go into the benefits and the limitations of an HSA. So real quick, the benefits. It is the only thing in existence that has a triple tax advantage.
That's right.
In the universe is what I was just told before the cut.
It's the only thing that's triple tax advantage, which means you're not taxed on the money that goes in, and you're not taxed on the money when it's in your account because you can invest that money into multiple different things. I advise just safe mutual funds for something like this. I'm not a financial advisor. Anyway, it's not taxed on that growth, and it's also not taxed when you take it out, as long as you take it out within the right parameters, which we'll cover.
So it's not taxed going in. It's not taxed while it grows.
Correct.
And it's not taxed when you take it out
the right way. Correct.
Triple threat.
Triple threat. Then unspent HSA funds, like we discussed, roll over from year to year. You can hold and add to tax-free savings to pay for medical care later. So the idea is that you can keep this account. It's really advantageous for people who are young, because when you have less medical things, you're able to just pay out of pocket. When you have like a couple things a year, you have time for this account to grow, and then it becomes, in your older age, what you use for anything medical. It's like, hey, this is my medical account. It's grown by that point, and you can sustain it for anything you have as you're older. So that's the ideal way to use it, but you can always use it at any point in time, which we'll also cover. The benefit is your employer usually contributes an amount to your HSA account, and then the rest of it you pay over time. Now, a good thing about Lex's program, which isn't common with a lot, is they give you the whole $4,000. It's $4,000 some change. I think it's $4,500. They give you the whole amount up front, even the amount they're paying, as well as the amount that you're going to pay, and then you just pay them back.
Yeah, when we were going through that, we were looking at it, and we were consulting with my dad a lot, and they were both like, I don't think that's right, because we were looking at like our employee handbook, because open enrollment and stuff, and they were like, I don't think that's right. Like, you need a little bit more clarification on that. And so I put Kendall and our HR guy in a group email on an email thread or whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, okay, can you explain this a little bit further? Like, this is what we're understanding and like believing it to say, like, is this true? And he's like, yeah. And like, even my dad was shocked. He was like, that's not common. But I work at, a smaller, family owned company employee wise. But yeah, so that was cool. Yeah.
Like, as opposed to hers, mine, they give me their chunk that they're paying, which is most companies, it's like $1,000 to $2,000. So it varies. And so the other half of it, or whatever it is, whatever remains, I'm paying each month into it instead of getting it all up front. And the benefit of that is she can literally invest it from day one of the year, and it can grow all year, as opposed to you chunking away at it over time throughout the year. So pretty cool. But like I said, companies will offer you usually $1,000 to $2,000 of it that they'll pay out of their end.
So now we're going to go into some of the limitations when it comes to an HSA account. You generally cannot use HSA funds to pay your premiums. But however, some companies' plans won't charge you premiums with an HDHP.
Correct. Which is what we touched on earlier. Like my company, it's zero premiums, which is nice. You're just basically what's withdrawn out of your check for insurance is going straight to you into your investment account, your HSA account.
Yeah.
So as well as the other limitation we're going to touch on is you can't take anything out of this account unless it's for medical expenses until you turn 65. Then when you turn 65, which we'll discuss in this next point, it turns into kind of like an IRA. You can remove from it, but there will be penalty if it's not for specifically medical.
And that's for when you're after 65.
Correct. So that way it's not just trapped in there for just medical, worst case scenario, but it's more advantageous if you do use it for medical, because you don't get penalized and stuff like that. But it's still accessible, which is nice. So we're going to dive more on that in number 3.
Yeah, so segues us right into how do you access what is in your HSA account?
Yeah, so the biggest goal with HSA, like we discussed, is you don't want to touch it if you can help it. If you're younger and you can pay out of pocket for things you have, try to not touch it and let it grow. So you save it up over the years and you use it as your medical funds for anything medical. Once you turn 65, you can use the money in your HSA for anything you want, but if you don't use it for qualified medical expenses, it counts as income when you file your taxes.
So let's say I'm 67 and I want a new purse. Very on brand. And I take the money out of that HSA.
It just gets taxed as income.
Taxed as income.
Yeah. So we're going to discuss now.
Even though it was already my money?
Yeah, but it grew. You put it in tax-free and it grew tax-free. So if you got to count it as income, that's really not that bad.
But I thought we just said it didn't get taxed coming out.
If it's used
only for medical
expenses. But yeah, you listening.
I'm learning.
She's learning. And so, worst case, if you do end up needing the money for medical at your age and you want to use the account, you can take it out for any qualified medical expense. So what you do is you just send them a receipt and they give you that money out of the account. It's that simple. And the biggest thing, say you have a folder you save of medical expenses throughout the years.
Which you should be doing.
Yes. And you can stow them away somewhere. Say you got your, say you broke an arm and you had to have that medical procedure done. You paid out of pocket. 2 years later, however many years later, if you have that receipt and you show it to them, you can withdraw that money for that procedure and get the money tax free because it's like you're claiming it later. So So
let's say in 2020, I break an arm. I pay for the medical expenses.
Out of pocket, yeah.
Out of pocket. 2022, I start my HSA account. I can file that with them in 2023?
That's a good question.
Pause, ChatGPT. After extensive research with ChatGPT, the answer is no.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense. So to go back to my question, if I were to break an arm in 2020, I don't have an HSA account. I pay for that medical expense. In 2021, I start my HSA account. I cannot file that medical expense in 2022. So it does not like grandfather over into it.
You can only go back in time for the times that the account was existed. Yes. So if you broke your arm in 2022 and you already had an HSA, but you paid out of pocket, and then in 2025, you're like, hey, I want to take that money out. Here's my receipt. You can withdraw it. But the more you cannot touch it, since it's triple tax advantaged, is the better, and then use it at your older age because that's what you kind of want to build it for.
Nice.
All right, now for our last point I wanted to add on this. There was a lot of possible changes to the HSA from the big, beautiful bill that was just passed. Sadly, most of the good ones did not make it. So the biggest one that did not get added is that the bill would have doubled the amount of contributions you could make to your HSA account. So people who earned less than $75,000 and families who earned under $150,000 could have doubled the amount that they put into these accounts. Now, granted, people who are making below those amounts, it's probably hard for them to honestly contribute the original amount versus double, but it still would have been an option, which is nice. So it would have been, hey, you can double up, basically catch up even in a way if you
catch up for lost time.
Yeah, learn about this later. So that was dropped. Gym memberships were being talked about as being included, as you can pay your gym membership out of your HSA. Not sure why that didn't make it. Seems like a pretty general thing that could be nice to at least be an option, but that was dropped. And the last thing is, this one I think would have been also very good, is the bill would have allowed for conversion from unused flexible spending accounts to be rolled over to an HSA. So say you have an FSA and you decide, hey, I want to switch over to an HSA one time, and you would have been able to roll that money over to that account. So you wouldn't have lost it like an FSA does. You wouldn't have lost it. You would roll over to now your HSA account that you're doing going forward. That would have been awesome. I don't really see the harm in not passing that, but anyway, it didn't make that. So sadly, that would have been really nice to have people who could transition over to the HSA from an FSA.
Yeah, it would have been nice. The gym membership would have been nice too, but America doesn't want us to be healthy.
Right. So. Yeah, that would have been. Really, all three of those were good ideas. But anyway, ultimately, they didn't make it. But there was one thing that I read about that was really cool that did make it. Is in the past, an HSA was only offered through a high deductible health plan, like we discussed. They're now going to be able to be offered through lower tier insurance plans. They're making it to where HSAs are more broadened to other plans than just the high deductible.
They're easily accessible.
Yeah, you might not have to specifically do a high deductible health plan now.
That's nice.
For an HSA. Yeah.
Well, America does care.
So look into that if you've ever heard about this and wanted to do one of the other insurance plans. It might be that you can now have an HSA in that account.
That's good.
In that insurance plan. So yeah, just quick recap as far as the biggest thing is, just remember you can take these expenses out if you have a receipt for medical expenses. You can save them, take them out later in life. But then after 65, you can use it for anything. The only thing that you pay it for at that point is it becomes taxable income.
So that is all for this episode. We hope that you learned a lot. As you can see, I'm still learning. I still have a lot of questions as well. But if you're not like, you might be sitting here thinking like, does my employer even offer HSA? Maybe you've been on the same insurance plan, since you started there, 5 or 6 years ago. Sit down, make some time with HR or whoever your payroll specialist is, and just see what your company has to offer. And if you have any questions, of course, we're not financial advisors, but don't reach out to me, reach out to Kendall for this one. But we hope that you learned a lot and that it sparked your curiosity. So let us know if you guys need anything.
Remember, it's triple threat. It's the only account.
HSA.
That's triple tax advantaged.
HSA.
So it's the best account you can have. So look into it.
The best account. Not tax going in, not tax when it grows, not tax when it comes out. Unless if you want a purse. Can it?
No, nothing that's for
Okay.
worth a shot, but I don't think it's anything that's what's the word? Cosmetic. Is that the right word?
Yeah. Well, then why do we have it? All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody. So I would definitely tell people if you got to choose between the two, HSA. 100%. Good.
H S A.
Hey. Okay, yeah,
Anyway,
but
that was
funds are
good.
not intended to be invested.
So that. Okay. So that.
You want to say that?
Not until you're 65 where you can withdraw what's in that account with.
You sure you don't? Spence. Before the account